my pearl is to find your board of directors to help guide you along your journey. And who knows, maybe someone in this room is ready to be part of your board as well. I'd like to start this Pearl of Wisdom by sharing a Tongan proverb that has resonated with me during the time that we have spent together this week. Piki piki hama kai vai vai manava. Piki piki hama means to bind together or to tie together. And because my Tongan ancestors were wayfinders and navigators of the ocean, it meant to bind together the outrigger of a vaka or a seafaring canoe. Vai vai means to share, and manava has a little bit more of a complex meaning. It can mean anything from heart to your center, to your womb, or even to your breath. So in literal terms, the proverb means to tie your outrigger together to share breath or to share life. Historically, this proverb would describe times of crisis when navigators would call out for help to other navigators in the area, and they would help shoulder the burden of the vaka in crisis. Other times, it would be used when navigators would come across each other during their long journeys. They would tie their outriggers together and share stories and rations, swap resources, and share knowledge that they learned that could be helpful to the other navigators before untying themselves and continuing on their separate ways. This week has reminded me that we are all vakas who may sometimes be in crisis and may want to commune together to share knowledge. Now on to my pearl of wisdom. I went to several of my mentors and asked for their biggest pearl of wisdom in leadership. I've compiled them into my top 3 while also learning the biggest lesson throughout the process. This might be helpful for those who are new leaders on campus and could be helpful for those who are supporting new leaders. So here are my top 3. Number 1, spend at least 20 minutes to an hour a week helping someone on your campus in some capacity. This could be helping with marking or covering a class or taking on a duty. This can help to give reprieve to a teacher who needs help and to get to know your students in a different capacity. It helps you to keep a pulse on what's going on campus as well. Number 2, take an inventory of who is at the table. Now that you have a seat, you have a chance to bring fresh voices to the conversation. Invite those with different perspectives to join. Real progress requires diverse viewpoints. Challenge the status quo. Should the table be bigger? Should the table be reshaped? Or should the table even just be replaced? Number 3, one of my mentors loves the Marshall Memo and is always sharing his favorites with me. One of his most recent favorites resonated with me regarding the power of the check-in. The TLDR of the Marshall Memo is essentially saying that informal check-ins can be just as valuable as formal check-ins. Informal check-ins take the pressure off of both your teachers and your leaders and can help when you are building a relationship with those on campus. If you'd like more information on that, it's from Matthew Ebert's article on Edutopia regarding check-ins. So while getting this collection of pearls, I noticed that the biggest pearl of all was the mentors who have been at my sounding board. These are people who I would consider my board of directors. These are people who have nurtured the leader in me and saw leadership potential when I didn't see it in myself. These are people who have mentored me through university, leaders from the beginning of my career, and principals that I've had the opportunity to work with. Leadership can be isolating if we allow it to be, especially when trying to balance boundaries in an international school, where we are sometimes moving from being a colleague to being in leadership, or we wear different hats, such as being a parent and a leader. My board of directors taught me how to advocate for myself and to call out injustice when I recognize systems of oppression and to always lead with equity in mind. My board of directors know me and my why and have helped to remind me time and time again to keep it at the forefront. So how do you form your own board of directors? Your board of directors should be people who energize you and renew your sense of purpose. They should be people who can see the situation from an outside perspective and give insight as to how to approach a problem or a situation. They will be the ones who are unafraid of calling you out when you're being unreasonable and to also give you feedback from a place of love. They will encourage you to take your well-being day when you're running on fumes, and they will also ensure that when you piki hama, or when you tie your outriggers together after a particularly long season, that they will give you guidance, knowledge, and love to help send you on your way. So in short, my pearl is to find your board of directors to help guide you along your journey. And who knows, maybe someone in this room is ready to be part of your board as well. Thank you.